The town of Nanyuki in Kenya comes into global spotlight after almost 13 years. This is where 21-year-old Agnes Wanjiru was born, lived, and was brutally killed. Her family searched for her for months, only to discover her body stuffed into a septic tank at the same hotel where she had last been seen alive. But today, justice seems to be served as the killer was a British soldier, and Kenyan court just issued his arrest warrants. Agnes was raised by her mother, Lydia Wanjiru Kimotho, who supported her 5 children through side hustle jobs such as farming. Agnes was the youngest. The eldest, Rose Wanyua Wanjiku, was followed by James Mwangi, Cecilia Muthoni, and Francisca Njoki. Agnes spent all her 21 years in Nanyuki. Her education began at DEB Primary School in Nanyuki before she moved on to Gakawa Secondary School. She enjoyed her lessons, with literature her favorite subject. She loved music, often caught singing or dancing, and at home she busied herself in the kitchen and enjoyed the company of her extended family. Relatives recall her as dependable, kind, and funny. In 2010, she began training to be a hairdresser, completing her course in August 2011. But before she could establish her career, her life was cut short. While finishing her studies, she was heavily pregnant. On the 20th of October 2011, she gave birth to her daughter, Stacy. Family members recall her describing motherhood as the best feeling of her life. Although she adored her baby, she struggled to provide for her. Like many young women in Nanyuki, Agnes sometimes sold sex to supplement her income. The nearby British Army Training Unit Kenya, BATUK, ensured a steady flow of soldiers in town, many of whom paid local women as little as £1 for sex. On 31st March 2012, Agnes went to the Lions Court Hotel, a favourite haunt for British soldiers. She joined her friends Florence Nyaguti and Susan Nyambura around 11 p.m. They danced together and Agnes drank a beer that she said had been bought for her by a British soldier. Unlike every other night, she did not return home. Her friends and family raised the alarm the next day, but weeks of searching ended only 2 months later when her body was found in the hotel's septic tank. Her death devastated the family. Stacy was just 5 months old and has grown up with the trauma of her mother's killing. Esther explained that she often breaks down when confronted with memories of Agnes. Rose and Esther have carried the burden for over 13 years, describing the case as traumatizing and heartbreaking. This week brought a breakthrough. Kenyan High Court Judge Alexander Muteti issued an arrest warrant for a former British soldier. Prosecutors told the court that a suspect had been charged with murder and that Kenya is seeking extradition. UK-based witnesses will be called to testify in a future trial. If the extradition goes ahead, it would mark the first time a current or former British soldier has been sent abroad to face trial for the murder of a civilian. The Lions Court Hotel was a popular destination for soldiers stationed at BATUK, located about 125 miles north of Nairobi. A Sunday Times investigation in 2021 named a suspect from the Duke of Lancaster's regiment, and since then, Kenyan detectives have flown to the UK several times to question soldiers and ex-soldiers. In April this year, UK Defence Secretary John Healey met Agnes's family in Kenya, pledging Britain's full support for the investigation. He praised the family's strength in their long fight for justice and promised his determination to resolve the case. The family's lawyer, Tessa Gregory of Leaday, urged the UK government to ensure the extradition proceeds swiftly so the accused can face trial in Kenya. The case is scheduled to return to court in Kenya on the 21st of October, but no timeline has yet been set for an extradition hearing or trial. For Agnes's family, The fight for justice has spanned more than 13 years of grief and unanswered questions. They continue to hope that her case, which has come to symbolize both personal loss and a wider call for accountability, will finally reach resolution.